You are totally booked up. That's great news, except for what do you do with all the people that still want to work with you? Well, that's what we're going to go through in today's video. This is one of those things that your friends might not understand. They might judge you a little bit when you're saying that this is a problem for you, but it really is a problem at some point if you're doing business well. What I typically find is that when someone is so busy, their business eventually takes over their life, like their personal life, their health, even their client work can start to suffer when they have too many clients and not enough help for themselves. One of the things that I did when I got too booked up for my own good was I started tracking my time and not just like kind of guessing where things went. I used an app called Rescue Time, and I'll link to that below because I'm actually an affiliate for them. So it helps out our channel every single time that you click on that affiliate link. Anyway, they have a free version too, and it's a great tool to track exactly where your hours are going, kind of like if you have an iPhone, it shows you how much screen time you've used, or sometimes Instagram will do the same thing, how much time you've spent on the platform. This is like that for your entire life. So it sums up what time you're spending on websites, whether those websites are for work or for shopping or pleasure, and it also will calculate anything you're doing on your phone as well if you add the phone app. It's really helpful for me to see what my busy periods of the year are and what my busy periods of the week are as well. And it also showed me that I was more active and better at getting work done from around 1 to 3 in the afternoon than in the mornings, because previously, before I started using Rescue Time, I actually thought I was most productive at the beginning of the day. By quantifying and qualifying your time like this, you can start to see the areas that aren't a good use of that time. For example, for me with the contract shop, when I was first getting it off the ground, I was spending so much time creating graphics for social media and blogging. It's a little bit easier today because there's a lot of template shops that have great packs for Canva. Also, Canva didn't exist then, but there's a lot more options available today, so I don't know that I would have needed this right off the bat now, but like back then, I was spending literally 3 days a week in Adobe Photoshop, which I had no business being in. Like, it took me 6 hours to figure out how to open it for the first time. So every single week I was wasting almost 20 hours just creating graphics. And when I outsourced that to a professional graphic designer who, yes, was a couple $100s a month, but she gave me so much of my time back so that I could keep writing blog posts and keep creating the content that I was good at and not the content I wasn't, which was all the graphic stuff. It felt really good to be able to support her business, but the graphics were really holding me back from expansion. And so when I was able to do that, I was able to blow my business up in a really good way. I want you to use some kind of time tracking to help figure out what that is for you. And if you still aren't sure, or you just want to take a stab in the dark, a good place to start is by hiring a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant, sometimes called a VA, is there to help take tasks off your plate. VAs usually aren't as specifically trained as, say, a graphic designer or a copywriter, but they usually are a jack of all trades. So they're not really specialized in any one area, but they can do all of them okay-ish. VAs are also really great if you find yourself getting hung up on admin tasks like billing your clients or going through and sorting through your inbox. Those are perfect first tasks to outsource to a VA. Now, with some of your time back because you're no longer creating all of your content or all of your graphics or doing all of your inbox yourself, the second thing to do is start to outsource some of your client work. A lot of people get bristly at this, and I don't want you to have the same resistance that I did, because again, this was something that held me back and will hold you back for way too long so that you can't expand to the level you want to be at, where you can buy whatever car you want, shop wherever you want, all of those fun things that you want to do because you have your business. One of the smartest things you can do is outsource the actual work, but not make it client facing. So for example, if you hire some contractors to take over some of the work and then you give it a final proofread or a final go through before it gets seen by the client, that's a perfect way for you to hand off the majority of the project to someone else who could really use the income, but isn't charging the same rates that you are, so that you are still making a profit. Plus, You get most of the work taken care of, and you just have to go through with a fine-tooth comb, refine some things, and put it in front of the client, take credit for the genius, and move on. Many people have resistance to this because they feel like they're taking something away from the person they've contracted the work out to, like they're stealing their ideas or their work, but that person's happy to have that job now more than ever in the economy that we've seen in the last year. It's not like they're getting into this and wondering what's happening to their work. They're well aware of the situation from the start. Plus, the client's no worse for the wear because you are still giving it that final proofread, that final go through, so the client still gets the exact same product that they would have gotten from you if you had done it start to finish. If you are that booked up and you're that type A, my guess is that you're not going to let something subpar go to your clients. So you really don't need to worry because your standard of perfection is much, much, much higher than anybody else would have for your clients. And they're still getting that because it's not just going directly from the contractor to them, it's going through you first. The last thing that will hold you back in this area is your own ego and thinking that there's no one else who can do it just like you. You're probably right, but they can do it 80% as good, and then you can finish up that 20% extra. The third option is don't forget, you don't actually have to say no, you can just put them on a wait list or take a deposit for a future date. And if you're really booked up and you find that people need things a lot sooner than you're able to offer them because of how many clients you're working with, then you can always set aside certain days of the week for people to have emergency projects that they pay at double cost. Not only does this help give you a little bit of a cash infusion, it also helps your potential clients out because they're getting it faster, which is worth it to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have paid it. If you're not used to setting boundaries, you're definitely going to want to check out rocksolidcontract.com. That is our blueprint, not just for boundary setting, but for everything you should have in that client contract. So that's going to get you really well prepared to work with those clients and to have these rush order deliveries and enforce them if you need to. Okay, so the fourth one, admittedly, is what my entire other YouTube channel is all about, which is creating your own digital products. You are inevitably creating standard operating procedures and templates and checklists and things that you're using in every single project over and over and over again. Every single thing like that you're creating could be turned into a digital product. This is also great because even though people don't know how your entire process works, they're still getting a good result using one of your templates or checklists or an SOP that you've created in Asana, something like that, because they are able to get a faster result without paying for your services, which maybe they couldn't afford or you're booked too far in advance. And they are inevitably going to go to someone else if you don't have an alternative option available. These digital products that you create from your services are going to give you that alternative option so that when they need extra work or when they expand in the future, they're going to come back to you and look for you first before they go to someone else. A great example of how this could work is myself in this channel, the contract shop. So the contract shop was a really nice replacement for my legal services when I became so booked up with clients that it just didn't make sense for me to continue to offer services. My rates just got too high, and as a lawyer, to be honest, you're not allowed to charge like exorbitant rates. And while it wasn't exorbitant for what they were getting, it was still out of line with industry norms. And so I was actually risking my law license by charging as much as I did. But when that happened, I had to make a decision on how I could serve more people because obviously I had to start turning people down. And therefore, I was lucky enough to have these digital products that I thought in advance to create so I could send them there and they could have just as good of a product because those are the same templates that I was starting my own service-based business client contracts with. Now they could just get them and plug and play themselves. They would do the work, and in lieu of paying, $10,000, $15,000 for a contract, they only had to pay $500. I know digital products can seem really far away or like it would take too much time to set them up now, but it's kind of like investing in your future. Just like if you invest $50 in the stock market today, it's going to be worth like $10,000 in 20 years. So you'll definitely want to try to invest if you can set aside any time to create your first digital products. If you want to learn more about digital products and how to create and sell them and all that stuff so that you can replace your service-based income or supplement it at some point, you'll want to check out my other channel linked below, or it's just my name, Christina Scalera. Okay, and finally, the biggest thing that I could encourage you to do is to give yourself some space to build your business. And this means that you take off Fridays or Mondays or both, and you build up to taking off enough time during your week by using the other strategies we've covered here so that you aren't going crazy, your health isn't suffering, you actually get to enjoy the life that your business has created. And the best part about those blank spaces in your calendar is it gives you the best ideas on how to move forward so you never feel stuck or burnt out. So if you can, start to build that in. I started with just Friday afternoons off, and then I built to all Fridays, and then I built to Thursday afternoons and Fridays. Basically, I've built that to look like I take the weekends off. Sometimes I do some fun work, like maybe catch up on a book or an audiobook about business stuff that I've wanted to read. On Mondays, those are all my like personal appointment days. Any kind of like dentist visit, things like that happen then. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my very heavy work days where I have a call with people and clean up all the inbox stuff that I didn't get to on Monday evening. And then Thursday and Friday is just kind of leftover white space work where I'll have lunches with friends and network, or go to a cute little coffee shop and outline a new course, something like that. If you found any of these strategies helpful, it would be a real big help if you gave that subscribe button a little tap, or the like button a little tap, because this isn't sponsored. I don't make any money off these videos. It would be a big help if you would just give me a little love in return and tap those buttons. Plus, if you want a little bit of a mini workshop, feel free to keep watching all the videos at the Contract Shop once you're subscribed, because that's a great way for you to just have a free mini workshop this weekend in lieu of taking a course that you might have paid for. And I really do read all of your comments, so leave me any kind of follow-up questions or things that you have going on in your business, anything you want to share down in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.